Hey guys, Tim here, JK Boots, and today we want to talk about how to keep your winter boots dry, just some tips and tricks on how to do that. This in front of me right now is our Arctic boot. This is a really good winter boot, definitely recommended for any kind of winter use or work. So the first thing I want to talk about is product. So product is probably the best way to keep your boots dry in any kind of winter or like wet condition. Things that will go over the top of the boot like sealers and coatings or grease. So that's actually the first thing I want to mention. So this is the Open-Off's leather preservative. It works really, really well. Honestly, any kind of boot grease would work. The reason I specifically touch on preservative or grease as opposed to oil is because those two things play a different role. So the oil will soak into the leather and like hydrate it and condition it. Preservative or grease, especially in a cold environment, will not soak into the leather. It will actually stay on the top. It'll like seal it. And that's exactly what you want. So when you grab any kind of boot grease or like snow seal or anything at all like this, and you put it over the top of the leather, you'll see the water legitimately run off if you get in any kind of contact. It's actually a cool experiment. You can literally put it on leather and like if you get a hose or something, the water will actually run off. And so especially in snow or sludge, it'll do even better because snow typically is in a physical form or something and it'll just keep it from soaking into the leather and it'll actually run off. So that's really, really good. That's probably the best way. The second way is any kind of waterproof shine. So this is basic water and stain protector. There's a couple different versions of this product. This is the one that we sell. It comes in our kit and actually comes with a pair of our winter boots. But this is almost like an upgraded version of the preservative because it's like a chemical-based compound. It's not a problem for the leather. It doesn't hurt the leather at all. And the best way is actually to combine these two things. So what I would do for the ultimate weather, proof boot, ultimate snow proof boot to keep your feet dry is I would do a nice thick layer of the preservative and then on top of that spray a good coat of the water stain protector. That together, I don't think anything would penetrate the leather at all. You're talking about two layers of like really high quality stuff that makes water, everything just run off. So those two products, either one or the other would do really well, but together would do even better. That will totally keep your feet dry. And really the biggest concern is like the stitching holes, for where water could seep in through first. And then I would say secondary would be directly through the leather. So I would cover the stitching holes first or like maybe a little bit more and then think about the rest of the leather. And unless you're planning on getting knee deep in snow, you really don't need to do the whole thing. You could probably do up to about mid shin or something like that, just to save yourself some time. But that's kind of the first two ways and then the combination of those products to keep your winter boots dry. The second thing that I would say is a boot dryer. So there's a lot of different variation in product of boot dryer, but those work really, really well. The way that it works is you just put it on kind of like it's like a plastic tube in a sense, and it'll blow just kind of warm air through the boot and just kind of dry it out. I think it works well. I think it's better than just kind of conventional leaving it by some kind of warm place or in your kitchen. It does dry it out. It does do well. I would say there's a little bit of danger where if the boots are super, super soaked, like let's say you're out in the snow all day, you didn't do any product application, there's a little bit of danger in putting them on the boot dryer that the leather can actually shrink, because typically when leather is super, super wet and then there's a combination of dry heat and it dries out, it can kind of contract. And so there's a little bit of just worry there. And the mitigation for that would be don't do the boot dryer, let them air dry kind of in a normal, dry, cool environment. Oil them so the leather loosens up, then put them back on, then maybe do the boot dryer later so they don't shrink. So there's a little bit of kind of variation there just to kind of help you out with that. I've just heard a few stories about how, man, my boots were super wet, put them on the boot dryer, felt a little tight when I put them back on. I do think that can legitimately happen. The next best thing, let's say you don't have a boot dryer, you don't have these products right now, you need to keep your boots dry. I want to talk about, like, as funny as it sounds, but like dusting your boots off from the snow. Let's say you're out in the snow kind of all day and you're done working, you come home, you take your boots off and there's snow just kind of packed into the welt, packed into the lugs of the sole, just kind of all up in this area, especially like let's say like right in here in this area. Dust your boots off from the snow, because think about it logically. You'll leave them like in your garage or something or in your kitchen, and obviously the snow meets room temperature, melts and becomes water. It will literally just sit on your boot and soak in. So you can save yourself so much from the boots getting wet by literally just dusting them off from all the compacted physical snow that's in your boot that you've collected while just working on the snow. Seems like a simple trick that's like logical, but sometimes we forget. I'm guilty of that too. So there's just a little reminder, you know, especially snow can kind of get stuck right here in this tongue area. Take out your false tongue, brush it all out, get the snow out of there just to keep it from melting in and kind of seeping into your boot. So there's a few kind of small tips and tricks how to keep your winter boots dry. This can apply for not just JK boots, but all kinds of boots that you're wearing out in the snow. But we definitely recommend that you get a pair of Arctics because we do feel this is the superior winter work boot. But those are a few tips and tricks. Products are great. Boot dryer second, just classic maintenance would be third. And definitely recommend that you use that, try that, figure out what's best for you. Maybe there's a different product combination that's gonna be better for you. But yeah, thank you for watching. Comment below what else you'd like to see. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next one.